Hey, this is Matt once again. What about 10 of the videos of the paid requests this time for Masi? Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1985 film The Color Purple. Now, funny enough, I think there's a new version coming out fairly soon, or maybe already did. I think it's going to be, maybe, was it more of a musical? I swear there's a new version of The Color Purple coming out. Now, this was directed by Steven Spielberg. You say it's Spielberg trying to kind of let people know that he can do more serious things. Just by that point, he had just done blockbusters like Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., etc. Now, it's based on a book. I know that the NAACP was pissed off with the movie, mainly because like Steven Spielberg is directing it and how Tina White directed. But people like Whoopi Goldberg have defended him and saying, well, these people that complain about it, why didn't you make the movie? So, I may disagree with Whoopi Goldberg on a lot of things, but I do appreciate that. I thought that was a good rapport, a good fuck you to some of the naysayers. And the movie did well at the box office. It got a lot of Academy Award nominations, but it didn't win any. I think Whoopi Goldberg, there was an interview where she said more than likely it didn't win because of all the trouble the NAACP gave. I think another thing they said is that the movie was, how did they put it? It made it seem like all black men were abusers or evil or which I guess, I mean, I could kind of get what they mean because all the men in this are pretty much all all the black men. There's really not many of that white people, let alone white men in it. Like very, very few. But yeah, pretty much each one they're kind of well, no, that's not true. There's one or so that are a bit different, but I guess because the story is you have Whoopi Goldberg's character and her sister when they're kids. They have a dad who abuses them sexually, made Whoopi Goldberg's character pregnant, and have to give birth to two kids. And because she was so young, they were given away. And so one leads to another as they get older. Danny Glover wants the one sister, but she says no, so he goes for the other sister, Whoopi Goldberg. And you see that Danny Glover's character is a lot older than Whoopi's character, but they get pushed into this marriage. And the sister, Danny Glover tries to get the sister, and she fights it off, so Danny Glover kicks her out. So ultimately, you find out that the sister said fuck it, walked away, and I think they eventually ended up in Africa. Meanwhile, Whoopi's character grows up to be Whoopi Goldberg, and she's this very meek, very mild, very submissive woman, just of all the years of abuse under Danny Glover's vitriol, ire. And then the film is sort of this cast of characters that Whoopi meets along the way until ultimately finding her independence. So whether it be Oprah Winfrey, which I'm not a fan of, I do not like her, I think she's a fucking bitch, I think she's a two-faced bitch, I think she's full of shit, literally and figuratively full of shit. I'm sorry, I do not like Oprah Winfrey. I think she's just a bullshit artist, and she got a lot of people fooled, just my opinion. But to be fair, like the rest of the cast, they do a good job. And here's the thing: this is not my kind of movie. Meaning, it's 2.5 hours long, and it's about women getting abused, and I just on purpose. It's not a fun subject to watch. It's not supposed to be. And at times it does feel a bit sentimental or over sentimental, but what made it work is the actors. I think Whoopi Goldberg does a really good job. Because I so used to her being in movies before and after, whether it be in Jumpy Jack Flash or Ghost, where she has one type of personality. So just a complete opposite, being so quiet, so meek, so inner shell. Every scene's just so huddled in, and you gradually see her kind of break out of it. Makes you root for the character. So I do think she did a bang up job with it. Danny Glover plays a guy that you just fucking hate and despise, and I love Danny Glover. Lethal Weapon films and Predator 2, but he's just a guy that just is such a despicable piece of shit character who's violent and angry and just it makes you feel so sorry for our protagonist and just waiting for Danny Glover to please his character get some kind of comeuppance. I mean, Oprah Winfrey, she does do a good job as this lady named Sophia, who's going out with Danny Glover's kid, who's grown up. And Danny Glover doesn't like that Oprah Winfrey is more assertive and is pretty much in control of his son. So Danny Glover doesn't like that. And wants his son to be more assertive. Even Whoopi Goldberg says you should beat her. Not because she doesn't like Whoopi Goldberg, not because she doesn't like Oprah Winfrey, but because she's just so used to that thinking. She's known no other life. Now, I thought there'd be a lot more back and forth between Oprah and Whoopi Goldberg, meaning, there's one scene in this kind of cornfield where she says, "Don't ever tell him to do that to me, or I'll kill him." So then I thought there'd be a bit more of Oprah kind of having a conversation, dialogue. Why did you say that? And try to get her out of her shell and trying to get her to loosen up, or not really. You almost see just like a montage of, oh, you hear that Oprah and her husband, they would fight each other until ultimately Oprah took the kids away. Then you cut to Oprah gets verbally shit on by the mayor, or more so like the, "Hey, you want to be my maid?" "No." And then the mayor shits on her because how dare she say no, and Oprah fucking punches the mayor in the face. And Lawrence Fishburne's in the film and warns her, and pretty soon she gets put in jail. And then we cut to she's getting out of jail, seems a bit older. So you did quite a bit of some time jumps around here. Sometimes they seem a bit abrupt. Like, oh shit, okay. Maybe it's going to be some time while she's in jail. No, now she's getting out of jail. Okay. Well, how long was that? Okay, was that long? And now Oprah's much more mild, submissive. Another person Oprah went. I keep saying Oprah. Whoopi Goldberg meets is Should, not Should Knight. That'd be a different movie. The showgirl who Danny Glover likes, but then she warms up to Whoopi Goldberg, and you get an idea that this is a lady that likes to fool around a lot, and that she's very open-minded to both men and women, and in fact gives a bit of tender love to Whoopi Goldberg, which, I mean, this is 1985, you're not going to see a whole lot of stuff with lesbians on the mainstream front. Pretty much a touch and a kiss, and that's all you get. Like a coke and a smile, and you shut the fuck up. And she definitely, you tell she takes a liking to Whoopi Goldberg, especially after Whoopi says that Danny Glover beats me because I'm for not being you. It is one of those movies that, like I said, I don't know if it need to be this long of a running time. It's one of those movies where, like, again, you think, Oprah Winfrey's going to have a bit more dialogue with Whoopi Goldberg's character on this gradual build of getting her out of her shell. But it's more so should the showgirl. She's kind of the linchpin that really helps her out. And I thought that actress did a good job portraying that character. Like I said, I thought that the best part of this movie was Whoopi Goldberg. To see a transformation from meek and mild to, especially after a bit where she finds out that Danny Glover's been hiding all of her sister's letters, and she's able to read them all about this whole life her sister has had, being in Africa and all the stuff going on there, and her kids being there, Whoopi's kids from back in the day being there. And you just see this much more anger and much more assertiveness and much more in control of her life. So there's the bit when she confronts Danny Glover and slams the knife down, ready to slit his throat. And you see the fear in Danny Glover's eyes. And especially the moment where she's ready to head off with the showgirl and her new husband, which he's a good guy. So NAACP, not every guy is a terrible guy. That guy is a decent guy. Danny Glover's ready to whip her, and I thought, for a split second, I thought she was going to have like a kung fu grip. I'm like, did she know kung fu? Where did she learn kung fu? Especially this time period. So she does like this. I mean, what is it, tiger claw? That'd be a different take on it. Oh, that's why I call the color purple, because she's going to beat the shit out of him with kung fu to his black and blue, called purple. And get Barney the Dinosaur purple people here to go kick Danny Glover's ass. No one says she curses, like, not curses, but puts a curse on him. Fucking voodoo magic man. The jail you planned for me is one you're gonna rot in. Everything you've done to me, already done to you. It's definitely a great hurrah moment. And then as the spoilers, the story goes on, you find out that her dad died and wasn't really her dad, so that way her kids are not her own brother and sister, because this guy wasn't really her dad. He just owned the property after their mom died, so let's pretend to be their dad. You see that Danny Glover, he becomes much more of a loser since there's nobody around. Much more of an alcoholic. Whoopi Goldberg's doing well and has her own shop, gets her own place. And ultimately does reunite with her sister and her kids. With the help of Danny Glover. Just the one good thing he did in his life. Which I wish there was one moment of dialogue with Danny Glover. Just one moment where he comes up to her as she has her shop and just says all the things of being either sorry, sorrowful, I'm sorry that all happened, maybe explain a bit of himself, why he did what he did. He thought it was the right thing to do because of what his dad embedded in his mind, something like that. But I guess they thought that'd be too explanatory or too much exposition, or maybe be too talky, I don't know. But with actions, he does bring Whoopi's kids with immigration to America so that Whoopi can see them. So he does do one nice thing. Granted, there's a part of me that kind of wondered why did he do that, but at the same time, I just because he's so lonely, because he's such an alcoholic. Honestly, I would think that would make him more pissed off and angry, and that he would try to do something worse. But, I mean, it's like with all the harshness and all the vileness that this character showcased, it was just hard for me to swallow him doing this one nice thing. Because again, when you see so much horrible stuff he did, this one nice thing almost comes out of nowhere. Like, I get why it's in, like, I get what they're doing, but at the same time, Maybe I need a little bit more of that. Maybe it's not supposed to be redemption, but maybe just a little bit more, like in a conversation, him writing his thoughts down, some bit of more insight into Danny Glover's mindset, his character's mindset. So at the end of the day, I mean, this is not the type of film I gravitate towards and seek out. You know, about women that get beat up and this years of abuse. It's honestly why I never bothered to watch this film. As is, it is a well acted movie. It's a good looking film, cinematography wise. I did definitely see how it brings the emotions out of people. Maybe at times it feels a bit sentimental. At times it does feel a bit overlong. At times I wish, even though I say it's overlong, there's certain things I wish they could have built up a bit more. Not built up, but I don't know, added, I guess. But overall, it's not a bad film. Just not a film that I would ever watch again. But at the very least, it showcases Whoopi Goldberg and what she's able to do as an actress. Sally, she had doing this stuff with The View, and I hate The View, and I hate a lot of their opinions and stuff. So I miss the old Whoopi Goldberg. I miss the Whoopi that tried to be an actress like this, or is very funny like Jumpin' Jack Flash, or did both like Ghost, Sister Act. I miss that Whoopi Goldberg, but it is what it is. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.